I want to go over the state of the program for Baylor men's tennis. They lost today 4-0 to Florida State. Granted, two of those were straight set wins, and the last one was in a third set at 5-1. Pablo Grassi Mizuchi, aka Wampy, he got dominated 6-1. He was down 5-0, and at that point I knew it was pretty much over, and we did lose at the fourth spot in where Finn was placed. I mean, he was just not healthy this year. Yeah, like Finn lost 6-3, 7-6. Marco lost 6-2, 7-5 at number 3 singles, and then we know what happened. And in doubles today, we got dominated at 3 doubles, 6-2. But we dominated at 1 doubles, 6-1. The 3 doubles was Luke Koenig and Chris Franzen. And 1 doubles was Tadeusz Perulik and Jean Borvelts. And of course, our number 2 doubles was Finn Bass and Juan Pablo Grassi Mizuchi, aka Wampy. Yeah, and Wampy, after that first set, went 7-5, 6-2, 6-1. We extended the match with Tadeusz against that really solid Florida State Court 1. I mean, he was down 6-3, in the first set, and 5-4 break in the second. Try to get served on for the win for Florida State to get that 4-0, which I know they did eventually. Got the 4-0, but it was a third set. Then proceeded to win 3 straight games. Actually, 4 straight if you include that first game in the third set. So he did enough, and Luke forced a third set as well after losing that first set. 7-4 in the tiebreak. 7-6, 7-4 in the tiebreak. First set tiebreaker. And he did win the second set 6-3. So he was getting some momentum. It's just unfortunately Wampy at 5 just didn't play his best with errors, and it got to him mentally as well. 17-16 overall. First time we lost in the first round of the NCAA tournament since 1998, which was the second year in the program. And overall record-wise, it was very, very similar to 2016 when you look at the record overall. And this was just going to be a tough year anyway. First of all, we scheduled a lot of hard opponents, and we thought we were going to for sure lose our number 2 and 3 singles player as a definite because of their 5th year of eligibility was used up. But then Adrian Boiton at 1 singles turned pro. Yeah, we had to replace that top half of the lineup, and unfortunately what we didn't expect was injuries to occur, especially to Finn Bass. And Tadeusz Perulik got injured, but he was more like out for 1 week. 1 week, like for the week of the TCU Texas match, and now 2 Oklahoma State matches. And he played just doubles against Oklahoma, where we got destroyed 4-0. But he played both singles and doubles against Oklahoma State, though. So he was back to normal. Unfortunately for Finn, it was just he was dealing with an ab injury all year long. In the beginning, he was hurt. He played through it. Then he had to sit out a few matches. Then unfortunately, when he got back to playing at the National Indoors, on his first try to come back, he played both singles and doubles for the first 2 matches. The third match, he just played doubles, and from that point on, he didn't play. Not even just doubles until Texas Tech on April 1st. So, yeah. Needless to say, he would have been a 1 or a 2 when he was healthy. And granted, we don't know. And what was also not expected was to have 2. Granted, one of the freshmen came in late. And I understand Armand Zamani not being able to play. He was going to be like an 8-9 player in singles. And maybe even at doubles only. Maybe. But what was not expected was Amar Braysock from France as a freshman who enrolled in the fall. He was not clear to play at all this year. Not in the fall, not in the spring. We don't even have the depth. I mean, and technically this was the first year of Marko Milanovic anyway. Because remember, he got pulled halfway through the season last year out of singles line after national indoors. He was pulled. Didn't hardly play again. Ethan Musa played a lot some too this year. As a sophomore, he didn't even play that handful of times in dual matches last year. Same thing goes for Justin Braverman. Even though he was just doubles. And Chris Franson, look at his career. He was hardly used consistently. This year, he was the doubles only for the majority of the year. Of course, Jean-Bor Phelps is a freshman. And Luke Koenig is a January freshman. So, the good news is we do bring back everybody except those two seniors and Juan Pablo Grassi Mizuchi and Finn Bass, which both had great careers now overall, not just at Baylor, but for Juan Pablo Grassi Mizuchi at UCF as well prior to Baylor. So I know Tadeusz Perulik and Jean-Bor Phelps are participating in doubles NCAA tournament, fortunately they are. And Finn Bass and Juan Pablo Grassi Mizuchi are like the alternate list, like the number 5. So they have to wait on and see if some teams pull out. So it gives time for Jean-Bor and Tadeusz to get more reps and to be fresh for the individual tournaments coming up which starts on May 23rd, which 18 days. So I wouldn't worry about the future of the program because, like I said, we're going to bring back nearly everybody except 2 seniors. And hopefully we won't have injury issues or anybody turn pro, as well as not having eligibility issues as well, because we do have 2 solid recruits coming in. And Louis Bowden from England and Devin Badenhorst or something like that from South Africa. And Devin is 6'8". And a few weeks ago, he defeated a top 400 player in the singles lineup. I mean, not in singles lineup, but in singles on the Pro Tour. He might be the answer at one that we need. And we're building, not only for next year, but in 2025 when we get to host from Elite 8 onto the championship match. We are building. And I know a lot of these guys are going to hopefully return. This is pending transfer portal. Let's keep that in mind. This is pending transfer portal. So, I wouldn't worry so much about the team next year. Hopefully we don't have all this bad luck against us like this year. I mean, even in the Oklahoma match in the Big 12 tournament, we won doubles point in 5 sets, but we still lost 4-3. So, yeah. And we all knew that this year was going to be tough. It's just unfortunate we didn't see. And we had a tough schedule. One of the hardest non-conference schedules in the entire country when you look at everybody. And I knew going into this Florida State match, it was going to be a tough one. Because, one, we beat them earlier in the year in ITA kickoff weekend. I mean, unexpectedly. And we were just not healthy. I mean, we're just not we're somewhat healthier now, but not as healthy as back then, and it was just a tale of 2 seasons. I mean, after that point, Florida State picked it up. They were nearly not a top 16 seed, nearly. I mean, with a lot more wins, they would have been a top 16. And hopefully Florida State defeats South Carolina for us so we could say we lost to a Sweet 16 team down the line. So, or no matter what, at least one step further than we did. So we're gonna have to wait and see what happens in the off season here, and I would not worry about this program because I think next year we're going to be much better. I think we're going to be back to top 16, and hopefully not around this bubble line next year. Hopefully not. But I trust Michael Woodson and the staff. And I know they're going to use this year as motivation for next year. And a lot of experience is going to come back, which will help. I mean, because look, going into this year, we didn't have hardly a lot of experience. I mean, coming back, it was like a 4, 5, and 6 mostly from last year to this year. So, anyways, if you feel like this content, hit like and subscribe, and see you guys later. 5 subscribers, we're on the road to it. Let's go, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you get updated on every video that I do, or it tries to do that as much as possible, which I know sometimes it doesn't do it for whatever reason. This is just a overview of not only for what happened this year, but years to come, and some guys were playing 1 or 2 spots higher than they should, and I think possibly there's going to have to be a competition for 1 singles going into next year, and I think Devin is on that list. I would think Martin Braysock on that list. I think Tadeusz Perula could be on that list. Jean Borvelts. That's 4 guys. That's what I think should be in the running for the top 4 in the singles lineup next year. We got to have to find, granted, we need to find a number 2 doubles, because I think our number 1 doubles should honestly be Jean Bor and Tadeusz next year. I think so. We just got to find a number 2 doubles and better number 3 doubles. I would say a better number 3 just to make things a little bit easier in the doubles point. And hopefully we improve in doubles, because we need to improve that spot, especially at number 3 when we lost so much this year. Thus, we had to rely on 1 and 2 doubles to win every time, and that's not going to work. I mean, and they know that. I know they do. So I'm not worried.